Hey guys, it's Tim with PTProgress, and in today's video, we're on a mission. We're on a mission to pay off your physical therapy student loans faster, and I'm not looking to offend anyone here with these 3 strategies, but inevitably there's going to be some people who disagree, especially with number 2 and 3. But I think we could all agree on this first point for getting out of debt faster, getting out of your pile of debt, and that's to use a bigger shovel. We got to get a bigger shovel, folks. There's no easy way to pay off $150,000 worth of debt on a $75,000 salary. It's not going to happen very easily, very fast, so we need a bigger shovel to dig yourself out of this giant mountain of debt from student loans. And as a physical therapist, that means you need to start earning more money than the average starting salary of $65,000 to $70,000 a year. And it starts with your day job where you're working 40 hours a week. And I know this might not work for everyone, but if you have the ability to work 4 10-hour days, this is going to free up an extra day in the week for you to start working additional jobs on the weekends or throughout the week, picking up a day shift at the skilled nursing facility or in home health. And I know what you're thinking, but Tim, I don't want to work on the weekends. That kind of sucks. Yeah, I know it sucks. I didn't want to work on the weekends either, but the choice that I made of going to one of the most expensive PT schools in the country and getting the bill for it, well, that choice was already made for me when I signed the promissory note and racked up over $100,000 in student loans. So I was able to work 4 days a week in a clinic, 10-hour days, and then on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, picked up shifts in home health and in the skilled nursing facility down the road. Immediately, I was able to start picking up shifts, which allowed me to earn $30,000 to $40,000 extra a year with this setup. And there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to make this additional $30,000 to $40,000 a year with this setup, doing work that is not as glamorous as, say, an outpatient physical therapy clinic would be, but it's work that needs to be done and it's work that is available to you. But Tim, what about burning out? I don't want to burn out on physical therapy. I think that working more than 40 to 50 hours a week might cause me to burn out of physical therapy. Well, shoot, I guess maybe we should drop the title of doctor from our Doctor of Physical Therapy degrees, because the last time I checked, most resident physicians, doctors, spend 60 to 80 hours a week working during their 3 to 5 year residency after med school. And I'm not saying that's right, I'm just saying that there are plenty of doctors doing the work, putting the hours in, doing what it takes every single day, working 60 to 80 hours a week, and I've seen it firsthand. And they're not making more than $50,000 or $60,000 a year. Do you think they're burned out? Do you think they'd rather work 40 to 50 hours a week? Of course, that's a lot of work, but that was their choice to go into medicine, to be a physician, and it's your choice to go into physical therapy school and to borrow $150,000 in student loans. I'm sorry, it's not easy to have it both ways. If you want to get out of your student loan debt faster, it means getting a bigger shovel, making more money with a second job, working the weekends, throwing $30,000 to $40,000 a year towards your student loan so you can get out from under that debt within 4 to 5 years after PT school. You have to treat your early years as a residency, working 60 to 80 hours a week so that you can live and work the rest of your life without this humongous cloud of debt over your head. And if I hear one more person tell me that they're waiting for the president to forgive their loans or they want to pursue this 25-year forgiveness option, I'm going to lose it. That's enough for another video, but we've got 2 more points to cover in this one. And number 2 may not be as popular. Actually, number 1 probably wasn't as popular as I thought it would be. Number 2 may not be a very popular recommendation either, but it's critical. We've got to stop adding debt. You know, there's a funny thing that happens when you have this insane amount of student loan debt over your head, and it's a Band-Aid that's called income-based repayment. And it makes you feel like you can afford things that you really can't afford. Income-based repayment helps you catch your breath. Yeah, there's no doubt in that, by lowering your payments based on your income. And for a physical therapist with $150,000 in student loans who's earning $75,000 a year, well, that income-based repayment will be quite small. And honestly, you'll never pay off your student loans with that payment, period. You'll be on track for that 25-year forgiveness through the grad school income-driven repayment or the forgiveness option, but no one's experienced that. It's a horrible way to live. The tax bomb afterwards could be close to 50% of your current balance today owed all up front, not to mention that 25 years of continuous payments that you'll be making towards your student loans. The danger with this income-based repayment option, those plans, is that it provides this false sense of financial stability because you feel like now you can live, now you can spend money, more of that money that you've worked so hard to earn on things outside of your student loans. Suddenly you feel like you're able to make a mortgage payment or now you can have a car payment because all this money has been freed up because of your student loan payments are now smaller. Well, the problem with this approach, of course, is that it's like trying to put out a fire with a bucket of gasoline. You're just adding more debt to the problem and covering up that problem with a band-aid that's called income-driven repayment. And we haven't even mentioned the average credit card debt of $6,100 for Americans, which I would imagine may hold true for many physical therapists starting out their career, because this mentality of carrying so much debt almost turns money into monopoly money or funny money, because the numbers are just absolutely mind-numbing, and they get to a point where it's just paralyzing to think about the debt. And so what's another $10,000 or $20,000 or $30,000 for a car loan? Again, it's adding gasoline to a fire, and it just needs to stop. If you want to get out of your student loans within 4 to 5 years, you need to start living like a student for the next 4 to 5 years and avoid adding any more debt to the picture. That means living in an apartment or a rental house. That means driving around a $5,000 Toyota Camry. And when that breaks down in 3 years, buy a $5,000 Honda Accord and use a $1,000 emergency fund to help fix it. You're at war with your debt, and you have to believe this 100%, because if you don't believe this, and you fall victim to this idea that $150,000 in student loans, that'll never be paid off, and you convince yourself that it's impossible, that you can just only make the minimum payment, you'll set yourself up for a life of living paycheck to paycheck as a broke PT. If I've triggered anyone, I'm sorry. Yes, I realize that this video is probably triggering for many, and we don't really want to talk about the student loan problem in physical therapy, but I'm sorry, we have to talk about it. We've got to talk about the third way of getting out of debt faster, and that is living below your means. But what does this mean for a physical therapist who earns $70,000 a year, well above the average income of an American household? It means that we have to start ignoring our neighbors, ignoring our friends, ignoring our family when they're doing dumb things with their money, and start doing smart things with your money. Look, there's no doubt physical therapists make a good living. There are jobs, they're rewarding, they're challenging in good ways, they're difficult in some, and overall though, it's an enjoyable career that pays well above average for the American salary out there, but you've got to live below your means. It doesn't matter that you have a doctorate degree. It doesn't matter that all your friends are getting houses and new cars after graduation. They're adding gasoline to the fire. When you have $150,000 or more in student loan debt, the only way to get out from under this relatively quickly is to get a bigger shovel, stop adding debt, and to live well below your means for the next 4 to 5 years. I know that you worked really hard to get here. I know that you make a good amount of money as a physical therapist and that you want to enjoy your life, but if you can put the work in for 3 years to get your DPT, you can put the work in for 3 to 5 years to pay off that DPT, so you can spend the next 20 years of your life enjoying your work without feeling the burden of student loans looming over your head every single day. Imagine what you can do financially if you adopt this discipline of paying down your student loans now and taking that same discipline and putting it towards maxing out your retirement accounts every year for the next 5 years. A 30-year-old who starts maxing out their retirement accounts each year for the next 5 years and stops saving altogether at age 35, they'll have well over $1.5 million by the time they reach retirement because of the magic of compound interest on just those 5 years of disciplined savings. I'm getting all riled up again, and I'm not yelling at you. I'm not trying to shame you. Here's what I'm trying to say. I know what it's like to have $130,000 in student loans from physical therapy school. I'll be the first one to say that I paid way too much for it, which is why I continue to encourage students to pursue state schools and to avoid taking out that much in student loans in the first place. It took me 4 years of working well over 60 hours a week to finally reach that break-even point for my student loans, and I know it's possible. I know it's not easy. Physical therapy school wasn't easy, your jobs aren't easy, and getting out of debt's not going to be easy either. But you can do it. You're going to need a bigger shovel. You're going to have to stop adding gasoline to the fire and stop caring about what your friends are driving and buying. You need to adopt this mentality of living well below your means so that you can take that discipline that you've developed when you're paying off your debt and your loans and put it towards other financial goals so that you can have the ability then to become financially independent so that you can work and retire when you want, how you want, and live a life that is free of this burden of debt and living paycheck to paycheck like a broke physical therapist. I want to help you break this cycle of living paycheck to paycheck, living in debt, and by giving you a few worksheets that I personally use to help track my spending and net worth. You can see a link to those in the description below to download some of those templates for free. Plus, you're going to be the first to learn about some of the newest resources that I have coming out for physical therapists who want to get out of debt and to create a financial plan so ultimately they can improve their financial health. You can grab those worksheets in the description below, and as always, thanks for watching. You can do this, I believe in you, and I'll be here to help you along the way. I'll see you in the next video.